Thanks so much. From the LBC to the capital city of DE, we're talking in Dover. It's the first year head man, DeSean Jackson at Delaware State. And Coach Jack, appreciate you taking the time to join us right now. I know a lot of people are asking the question, why Delaware State? And you told us at Media Day, why not? Right?
Mhm.
So when you look at year one in your era,
Yes.
is it going to be rebuilding? Are we going to be developing players? Are we going to try to go straight to winning? What's the mindset? How do you approach this year?
I think the mindset since day one has always been attack the culture. Looking back at the past few years, Delaware State has been in some great games. They in six of the games they lost last year, they was leading in the fourth quarter. So for me coming in, assessing that and kind of analyzing that, it was a few characteristics that points to that, right? That when they get tired, you know, they forget their assignments. They're not in great shape. They're not paying attention to the details and the small things. They're not disciplined. They're not checking the T's and crossing the dots. You know what I'm saying? So for us, we're just making sure we attack those areas. Mindset, dog mentality, resilience is something that's huge in my area. And I feel like in order to be a successful team and the teams I was a part of that was successful, they all had those. So for us, we're just in attacking the culture. We want to change the culture around. We want to win now. We don't want to wait to win. I don't think it's a bad thing if we win early, but at the same time, we know it's a lot that needs to be done, and not a lot needs to be transformed. So we're just taking it one day at a time. We're putting our foot forward every day, and then every day we get better, 2% better.
Understanding it's a process, and you talked about attacking the mindset. So, kind of what was that big change, the first big change you looked to
Mhm.
make at Delaware State?
Just identifying the talent. I think the talent level, getting the right players that can fit our philosophy and how we want to do. We like to play fast. We want to swarm to the football. So I think it was just the big thing is identifying the players, getting the right players in there, getting the culture around each other that could fees winning. And I mean, everybody's motto is to win it, but how do you really, challenge guys to want it more? To when it gets hard, how do they push through, right? Because the good things happen, when you're comfortable. What do you do, or what's your mentality when you're tired, when you're not feeling well, when you're hurting? So. I think, in all our eyes, we all wanted to come in and challenge these guys, to get more out of it than just, coming every day and just being average or when you get accustomed to losing, that's a big trigger. How do you trigger the effect of changing guys' mentality? How do you change guys where mediocrity is not what we're looking for? You always say if you want to have new results, you have to change your habits, right? So you can't expect to be doing the same things and expecting different results. So I think that's the biggest thing in our eyes. We just wanted to, approach these men and love them up and as well and coach them up as well too. So it's a thin line between it, but there's no gray area.
There is so much hope, though, I think right now around the
Mhm.
Hornets program. There's a buzz, if you will. And you talked about some of those players, identifying that talent. You've had the opportunity to see them. We haven't. So who should we be on the lookout for?
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfair to say because I think a lot of guys are coming along, but I mean, just I'll say position wise, I don't want to individualize any players because we're together and we're a team, and it's going to take everybody to accomplish what we need to accomplish. But I think since day one, we identified and addressed the offensive line, the defensive line. For like the trenches, or somewhere that's a huge key part of what we want to do, and up front, we got some new additions, some guys in the offensive line for sure that's coming from some places where, things didn't really go their way. And, nowadays these guys get into the portal, they're leaving from their old circumstances and situations. And these guys are talented. They just need some extra love and some extra care. So kind of identifying that. The same, I think, on the defensive line as well too. We got some big bodies, some big presence down there. Got to be physical at the point of attack, and that's where you win and lose football games. So identifying that first and foremost. Our running back room is crazy right now. We got some crazy additions in the running back room. We brought Marquise Gillis. You got a chance to meet him. I think he'll have a heck of a year this year. Our quarterback, that came from Sac State, Caden Bennett. We got another quarterback that came from Maryland, Jaden Saray. So, receiver room, we're looking forward to do some great things. We got some noise in the tight end room, but I just think all along as a whole, you're going to see a different style of play. I think these guys have been locked in and focused on the challenge, and it's been hard. I'm not going to lie. We're asking them to do things different than they've been doing, and they're accustomed to doing it a certain way. So that's going to be a bit of a change, but at least what I can say, we're putting our head down, chin up mentality, and we're working every day to try to accomplish what we want to accomplish.
Yeah, in meeting both Marquise Gillis, Brian Bates, who comes into your program, outstanding young men, really impressed by them. And, they talked about how you help to empower them, not only just as football players, young men, but also starting their businesses and trying to grow them. But I've got to know, like, in terms of your group predicted to finish last in the MEAC in terms of
Mhm.
the preseason poll. Do you
Yeah.
use that as bulletin board material? Do you use that as a rallying cry to get your guys to play?
I've definitely expressed that a few times, and in my eyes, I love it, because I understand no one's going to give us nothing. If we want something, we got to take it. And how do you take it? You put the work before the storm, right? So, in every day and everything we do, it's definitely talked about. Bulletin board, I wouldn't say, we put it around the facility, but it's definitely talked about in meetings, and we use the information for what it's worth. We don't get too caught up in predictions because the game still got to be played, right? All them 5 teams before us got to still go out there and play a full season, So I respect the game, and I know this game that we all love to play in that I once played. Is played in between those white lines, right? You can't talk about it on paper, So I know this year we'll go out there and every game we're going to put our best foot forward. We're going to swing for the fences, and hopefully that can come out with a lot of wins. And I will say, guys are hungry, guys are excited for a change, and they're willing to take those steps to make change. So I think we have all the expectations, we have all the hard work, we have everything in front of us, and we're just going to continue to put our head down, like I said, every day, and just move forward to our goal.
I think a game that everyone is circling on the calendar is October 30th at Lincoln Financial Field when you face off against your former teammate Michael Vick, who is leading Norfolk State. There's so much excitement around that game in particular. So I'm just curious to know, like, what would that game or what does that game mean to you?
Oh, man, we had the press conference yesterday at the Philadelphia Eagles Novacare Complex. Michael Vick is a brother to me. We spent some great times together. We had some great memories. Built a special brotherhood. That game I for sure know is going to be a game that's going to go down in the books. Hopefully, we can make that a classic every year. But I just know we got a one game mentality first. We play UD, University of Delaware, August 28th, and I don't want to try to look too far ahead, of other opponents we play, and I don't want to disrespect the game like that. But I just know when that time comes, it's going to be very heated. That week we probably won't talk, and probably before the game we'll talk, and then during the game it's going to be definitely heated, and we're going to get out there and battle a tough one. But after the game, I hug my brother up, dap him up. But I'm praying for his success just as well as I'm praying for my success, So I think us together, we support each other while we play each other. Obviously, it's going to be on and heat in the moment, but his success is my success, and I think vice versa. We're in this thing together, and we just want to help change these young men's lives to help, give these men something to go out and say, you know what, man, these brothers gave us advice. They showed us the right way to do it, and at the time we weren't perfect, so we're able to give young men opportunities, second chances, and just kind of like, just uplift them to this game that we're playing in life, where it's football right now, but it's really life goals that we're trying to reach out to these young men.
And I think that's so important in how you connect to them, right? Because
Mhm.
everyone is, you all have lived life, and there are stories along your journey that you can tell to help these young men that you get the opportunity to lead. I love the dynamic duo that you all were on the field. But
Mhm.
when you get on the sticks, esports, I know you're a big Madden player.
Yeah.
Do you take Michael Vick from the Falcons or the Eagles?
Yeah, that's a good question right there. I think I'll probably take the Michael Vick running from the Falcons, but the throwing I'll probably take from the Eagles.
I like it. Split it up. Okay. And then
Yeah.
and then lastly, Like, I'm not sure if your guys are playing with Coach Jack, right? The last year on Madden, I think you were rated 92, 95 speed overall. Do you think your guys are using you on the
And
controls?
yeah, a lot of my guys come to me and say, "Man, Coach, I'm using your Madden card." So that's the thing that you got Ultimate Team, so guys can go out and get your cards. So I still got a good pack of, I still got a good version of D-Jack on the Madden. So yeah, definitely that they definitely be telling me, "Yeah, I'm using your card, Coach, and you give me a lot of touchdowns." So that's good to hear. You know, my young dudes still knowing who I was and how I played at this level. I mean, played on the field at a high level. So it's definitely a good thing.
A fantastic 15-year career in the NFL, and now DeSean Jackson leading the way for the Delaware State Hornets. We appreciate your time and good luck this season.
Thank you. You have a blessed one as well.